Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the Anime and Games news. Okay, and we got a few topics that we need to speak about, and you guys need to know. So, I'm just going to go through the topics. Okay. So the topics. The first topic we got is the Pokemon trainer enters a new tournament. Okay, the Demon Slayer film continues in cinema. Then we have the anime investigators are ruining anime, and the last one we have is the game console war. Okay, so jumping into the first one, as you can see right over here, we have Ash. Okay, some shocking details for you. It was 3 years ago. Do I even have that? Okay, it was 3 years ago, November 11th, that Ash Ketchum won the Pokemon World Championship tournament for the first time ever. But it was 2 weeks ago. Okay, this is a 13 days ago that he confirmed that he was going to join ICE. That's right. Ash Ketchum has joined ICE. Why? I don't really know. But when we interviewed, but when he interviewed, he said because he's the best at catching. He's the best at catching. His name is Ash Ketchum. He's gonna catch them all. Okay. So look, out of everyone who's in the United States illegally, don't be surprised if you see a Pokeball flying at you or something else, because literally, who knows what Ash is using this time in his current position in ice? Okay, and it's really frightening because after you start catching Pokemon, apparently you start catching people. It's really weird. Okay, like this guy can go from catching Pokemon to catching people, and then we basically have a predator on our hands. Okay, after ice, he's joining a predator clan. Is what I think. Okay, after the film Badlands, Predator Badlands. I mean, Ash seems to be pretty better than that guy. Like he's much better at catching things than the antagonist, than the main character of the film. But anyway, going on to the second topic. Okay, we are going to be talking about the film. Oh my, where's this image? Yeah. Okay, here we go. We're going to be talking about the film Demon Slayer. Okay, the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part One film will not be moved. I will not be moved. Okay, it will not be moved to Crunchyroll just yet. It seems that the film will continue its run in theaters and will not be aired on Crunchyroll until 2026. Why? Well, it's clear that the studio and companies that own the rights to Demon Slayer content, who are Aniplex, which is a subsidiary of the Sony company, and Ufotable, believe they can make more money if they continue the theatrical run in cinema before pushing the film to a streaming platform in 2026. That's basically what they thinking. Okay, this is clearly because they want money. Okay, but let me not go off the topic. Let me give you my opinion. I actually had to type everything down. It seems weird. Normally I just wing it, but I mean I had so much time today. It's said weird. I decided I'm gonna type things down. Okay, so this is my opinion about what's actually happening with the Demon Slayer movie. Okay, I'm glad that the film is doing great because that's actually really good. Okay, this means that there is a bigger audience for the anime franchise and anime as a whole. But Demon Slayer Infinity Castle has been in cinema for more than 4 months, which is longer than any other film. Not even Marvel Studios keep a single Marvel MCU film in cinema this long. Almost about maybe 2, 3 to the max, from what I've seen, but never over 4 months. Okay, I would say that Aniplex and Ufotable have already made more than enough money from this film, being in cinema only. Remember, Sony Pictures Entertainment is also involved in the production of this film, and they reported that Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle, has brought in over $682 million. But clearly, 682 million is not enough. Even on a budget of 20 million, that's apparently, even if it was 20 million, uh, some um, st- some articles say that the film is between 75 and 100 million. It doesn't even matter because they've grossed over 600 million. I mean, that's a massive win. And they will probably say that this is for the fans of the anime to experience it in a bigger setting, which is in the cinema, but it's not true. It's basically like, yeah, man, we're going to milk this as much as we want. So all the Crunchyroll subscribers, that's me as well, will have to wait until 2026 to watch the film if they have enough patience, okay? Or enjoy the film in the cinema. Look, guys, it's your choice. It's the choice of the fans, so choose wisely and which one suits your pocket. Last point I want to make out on the Demon Slayer film is that there is another anime film to rake in all the cash besides Pokemon film and the Digimon film, which I know is like, what are you talking about? The first Pokemon film, I don't know about the Digimon, but the first, I'm gonna both of them to me were first at that time. The first Pokemon film and the first Digimon films came out decades ago. Okay, and now I'm referring to the Pokemon film Mewtwo Strikes Back, which is the first Pokemon film that came out. Okay, yes, it was decades ago, back in 1998, when it aired in Japan. Okay, but here in South Africa, it was in the cinema on November 10th, 1999. I don't even remember it being in 1999 because to me it was like 2001 or 2000. Okay, but it was huge because everybody was introduced to the first season of Pokemon, and all the kids in my neighborhood, in my school, the entire generation, maybe even older, were crying to watch the film, and the film grossed worldwide over 163 million, which at that point in 1999 was probably record breaking for Japan and an anime. And now it's Demon Slayer breaking the records too. And is it going to stay with Demon Slayer? What do I mean by that? Where a whole season, a new season of an anime, is turned into a film instead of a series. Okay? Or are they going to be more like the Demon Slayer film? Because if this, oh, we like the fact that you guys made so much money, and we've broken records. Maybe we're going to do that with Jujutsu Kaisen and make season 3 a film, or maybe we're going to go with what other show is there right now? Yeah, okay, I can't say One Piece. I think they're going to stick with the episodes nonetheless, because it's like a weekly thing. It's not a season. But let's say they'll go with another anime, and they'll be like, okay, well, season 1 was good. Season maybe not even season. The wait till season 2. They'll be like, season 1 was great. Let's go with season 2 and make it into a film. Is it going to be like that now? I kind of don't want that to happen. I'm enjoying it as a series. The Demon Slayer film, I didn't really enjoy it. And yeah, I didn't want to sit there for 2 hours watching a film and at the same time watching people cry. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go actually watch my review on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page as well, on the Facebook channel, where I actually review the film of the Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. But nonetheless, since there are anime that are better out there than Demon Slayer, and who have diehard fans that other anime series don't have, for example, One Piece and Naruto, that might be something where the producers and creators will be like, well, you know what, we have diehard fans, the anime has diehard fans, we got content. I think it will work better than Demon Slayer. We don't know, okay? But I guess we'll have to see what happens. But for now, we get to enjoy our anime on the streaming platforms that we pay for. Okay? And for those of you that are not paying for streaming platforms, hey, man, we still get to enjoy these things, okay? Moving on to the next one, which will be these these anime investigators. I actually spelled investigators wrong. Investigators, okay? These anime investigators. Who the hell are these anime investigators anyway? And why are they finding all these details in anime, which is an issue that they have to call out? I understand there are people that review anime and review films, and they call things out. But why? Why are they ones for anime? Okay, what is the purpose of this content besides views? Probably just views, I guess. Okay, every week. This is now very personal for me. Every week after a new episode of One Punch Man comes out, someone who many people start posting content saying, "Oh, look, the One Punch Man animators made another boo boo." I've watched the latest episode of One Punch Man, and I can honestly say that there is no mistakes whatsoever. It is an anime show. I enjoy it. The next episode that comes out, I will enjoy because it's a good anime. It's got a good story. I read the manga. It's got a good story. And man, just enjoy the action. Stop pointing out like, oh look, they did this. Oh, they didn't. We don't care. Enjoy the show. Okay? Now look, I understand that we all have different tastes in anime. And the other diehard anime fans would say I would never watch a show like that, like One Piece. But pointing out the visual mistakes made in the animation, honestly, I don't know what part of the universe is aligned with these actions. Okay, who or why are you pointing out the mistakes that animators overlooked? In any case, okay, look, I'm actually defending One Punch Man at this moment because every week someone finds an issue with the animation of One Punch Man and proceeds to tell the entire internet about it. Bruh, or bruhs, bruh or bruhs, because it could be one or many of you. Stop punching down on my favorite anime, dude. Stop punching down on it, guy. Not all the panels from a manga are adapted to what is exactly on the panel from the manga. Okay? Every anime has this issue. One Piece has this issue. Tokyo Ghoul has this issue. Naruto as well. There are many anime that have certain deviations from the source material, which is the manga. Pointing it out, though, I don't see the point. Okay, if the studios and the animators actually do decide to adapt as is from the manga, then some anime shows are not going to be aired on television and on streaming platforms, or most likely will have a age restriction. Because to be honest, dude, like if you read the mangas, that's kind of how explicit things kind of get. And I'm not referring to sexual content. I'm just talking about the gore of things, you know. So if you're going to point things out about an anime or an episode of an anime, then do so in a review of the episode or the season and call out all the faults in the ep or the season, not just one flaw. Because that can't be your content, to be honest. You can't just post a picture and say, well, did you know that this was a dude and they actually got boobs there? You can't point it out and be like, that's going to be your clickbait. Because to be honest, it's not something that I would consider, well, that is fantastic. I would not. So my advice to these content creators calling out all the visual mistakes would be to just shut up. Anyway, now that I've said that, okay, moving on to the next topic, which will be console wars. What about this console wars? Well, it seems that in the console world, things are slowing down, and I'm not really happy or sad that this is happening at it in any case. Instead, this is actually an eye opener, and maybe to the companies that are building these consoles, it's an eye opener too. Okay, after the console is manufactured and then sold with confidence that more people are going to buy this new model than the previous model. Okay, well, this is not entirely true for all consoles. Okay, PlayStation has sold only 84.2 million PS5 units since its launch back in November 2020. That was during COVID. And the rival to PlayStation, which is Microsoft Xbox, or just Microsoft Xbox, okay, with only a 28 million units sold of its Xbox Series X. These are the latest PlayStations and the latest Xbox units. And they are so different, okay? Basically, altogether, did I really say altogether? Okay, but altogether, the latest consoles sold just over 100 million. Just over 100 million units of the latest consoles altogether were sold. And they are literally nearly 2 billion gamers out there. It's quite shocking, to be honest. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. And just so you know, the Xbox Series X was launched at the same time, which is November, the 10th of November 2020, the same time as PS5. They've had the same amount of years. Yes, PlayStation 5 has over 84 million units, and Xbox Series X at a surprising 28 million units only, which is weird. Like I said, just over 100 million units altogether sold for, well, basically between 1.9 billion gamers. That's a really small piece of the pie that these guys actually got. Nintendo, on the other hand, seems to be doing okay with both of their last two consoles. Okay, the Nintendo DS, which they actually were able to sell 154, just over 154.02 million units, and the Switch peaking at 154.01 million units. That's basically a 10,000, possibly a 10,000 or 100,000 unit difference between the two. So they're basically the same people that bought the Nintendo DS were the same people that bought the Nintendo Switch. Wow. So they actually got some loyal clients over there, okay? And like for them to actually have that number in sales back to back with the, maybe it's not back to back, but like to still have that same number of sales back to back with their consoles is something that PlayStation and Xbox wish they could have, but currently don't have. Okay, the Switch 2 is already soaring high since its launch back in June earlier this year, with already over 10 million units sold. This is less than 6 months, by the way. Already over 10 million units sold, while Xbox Series X had only 2.8 million units sold in its first 6 months since its launch. Okay? And the PS5 with only 17 million units sold in its first year since its launch. 17 million sold in its first year. And your Switch 2 already has over 10 million in about, what, 5 months? Because it's mid November. It's mid November. It's been 4.5 months, bro. And it's already got over 10 million units. Right now, I will consider the Nintendo Switch 2, to be at this moment the leader in the console war, because the numbers speak for itself, to be honest. Okay, and I think now, because I say that, we really know who wins the console war, even if it is too early to call. To be honest, okay, PlayStation and Xbox are building their consoles to be bigger and better, better graphics, better software, faster processors, and more. And this is why their price goes up, and it goes up so much. Where you need to think, is it right to spend so much money for a console? Maybe in other countries like the US and the UK, it's still feasible to purchase it, okay? But it's not the same all around the world, okay? In the United States, I actually took a look. What the PS5 is about, what, under 500, maybe just over 500, depending on the specs. That's $400. That's between 400 and, okay, I'm gonna say 400 and $600. It's around that much for the PlayStation 5 in the States, okay? Here in South Africa, depending on the specs, we're looking at 16,000 to, I don't say 20,000. It was basically like 19, 1899, the 18,999. But we're looking at between 16, so 15,999 and 18,999. Okay, we're looking between 16 and 19,000, depending on the specs. That's basically what we have here, and that's actually a lot, to be honest. Okay. Where was it now? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, while it's not much of a console war, when there is less demand for a console, as you can see, man, I wish I could have shown you the picture. I was actually supposed to do that, but in this picture that I saw, okay, and basically the information of the sales and everything that I've looked up, the number of sales for the Xbox and definitely for the PlayStation has dropped significantly. And man, the PlayStation, yeah, I'm gonna say the PlayStation 2 sold. They had over. Oh, was it units or was it cash? Oh, damn. No, definitely wasn't. Wasn't. No, it actually. No, it was actually cash. Man, it doesn't matter. Okay, I gotta actually look at my phone. Just bear with me, everybody. Actually, I have it on my phone. I really want to take a look at this. Ugh. What are those? No, not mine. And the picture was. Why's my phone so slow? Okay, the old photos. Okay, there we go. Okay, units sold. Okay, I just want to show you if you can see. Obviously, because of the light, it's like so tough. Okay, but basically, units sold for the PlayStation 2. This is going from the most to the least. Okay. At the moment, the PlayStation 2 has sold the most out of all the consoles so far, with 106 or over 160 million units sold. Nintendo DS, which I just mentioned here earlier, which is over 154. Then we have the Nintendo Switch at the third place, which is 154. Then we have the Game Boy Plus, Game Boy Color, which is 118 mil. PlayStation 4, which is 117 mil. PlayStation 1, which is 102 mil. Okay, so the first PlayStation was over 100 million units sold. The Wii was over 100 million units. PlayStation 3 immediately was 87.4 million. Xbox 360 was 84 million. Game Boy Advance is 81.5 million. And the latest so far, it shows here, it is 80 million for the PlayStation 5. Okay. But actually, the PlayStation 5 has sold about over 84 million units. And because it's not on this diagram, the Xbox Series X is at 28, which would make it the lowest in terms of, a 5-year span, which is the same as the PlayStation 5. And it only sold, what, 20%, 30% compared to the PlayStation 5. Okay. We can't really say for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's only been 4.5 months. Only been 4 months. But it's definitely not going to be at the. It's definitely not going to be with the PS5 and with the Xbox Series X, because it's got its sales coming. Doesn't make it to 154 mil like the previous two consoles. I don't know. We'll actually have to take a look at that. Okay. Yeah, so like I was saying, the demand for the consoles are not there. And that is also because things are getting expensive. But at the same time, what purpose is there for a console besides just playing video games normally? Normally, gaming was the only purpose for the console, and it worked. Okay, PlayStation 1, it worked. Games. Okay, all the others too. I mean, PlayStation 2, the most units sold out of all the PlayStations, it just needed to play games. Okay, and it worked. But is it enough for what you're paying for today? Is it enough to keep you on this console and not move to another device? Because on that device, it's easier. Maybe it's more affordable, better graphics, software, or even the ability to upgrade the specs and performance on the device itself. Like, example, which is a good example, computers. That's a really good example, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the next PlayStation and the next Xbox generation. Especially now after the Switch 2 decides to kick everybody's ass, okay? I won't be surprised if we don't see the next PlayStation and if we don't see the next Xbox generation. I won't be surprised if PlayStation and Microsoft decide to collaborate together on a new console to blow everybody else out of the water because of the collaboration for what they decide to put in. Who knows what the heck that thing could be, okay? Because the truth is, consoles are slowly becoming a dying breed. So choose the more affordable and longer lasting device so that you get your money's worth. Long live the PCMR, bro. Anyway, that is it for the Anime and Games news, brought to you by me, Keegan. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, react, and comment on what you thought of this video and the topics. And I will see you again.